If you want to increase first-time guests at your church, you're going to want to watch this video because I lay out 5 things your church should be doing. Now, because I was a pastor, I put all of those 5 things into a framework called a guest growth framework, and I slapped some alliteration on top. What do you expect, right? I was a pastor. It's what we do. But seriously, if you watch till the end, I'm going to show you how you can use automation to your advantage so your church is connecting with people even while you are sleeping. The first step is articulate. You have to articulate your ideal audience. Defining a target audience is a critical step in any marketing strategy, and churches are no exception. I talked to a pastor last week who was boosting Facebook posts to absolutely everyone within a 10-mile radius of his church. Of course, this isn't ideal, and it's not his fault really. Pastors 20, 30 years ago couldn't have imagined all of the digital demands placed on pastors at smaller churches. In just a few minutes, we were able to clarify who his target audience was, which was parents with young kids in their community. Articulating your target helps you in understanding their needs and interests. From there, your church can create resources, events, or activities that are more likely to engage and attract your target audience. Knowing your target audience doesn't mean excluding people who don't fit that profile, but it does allow you for more focused efforts, which will enhance the overall effectiveness of your church's community outreach and growth strategies. The second step in the guest growth framework is attract. Once you articulate your target audience, you need to start attracting them to your church. How do you attract them? It's simple: lead magnets. A lead magnet, in its simplest terms, is a tool to help you gather valuable information from people who show interest in your church so you can follow up with them effectively. A lot of churches already use a lead magnet, but it's primarily centered around the sermon. If you are posting your sermons or clips of your sermons, that's fine. I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Here's one thing to remember: not everyone who visits your website is ready to watch a sermon. Your preaching is probably great, Pastor. Rest assured, this isn't about you. This is about them and their current felt needs or pains that might not align with your most recent sermon, or they might just not have time to watch a sermon. They could be waiting in line at the bank or sitting in the bleachers at baseball practice. My point is, yes, they need the gospel, but a video of your sermon might not be ideal at that moment for them. What you can do, though, is take old sermon content and repurpose it into bite-sized, digestible pieces of content like digital devotionals or online Bible classes. You could do ebooks on various topics like grief, parenting, and marriage, to name a few. You can create a community guide for people who just moved into your area as well. There are so many ways to attract people near your church. The third thing you must do in order to grow your first-time guest is acquire. You use the lead magnets to acquire their contact info so you can follow up. The importance of getting their email address cannot be overstated here. If you are just giving away free resources on your website with no way to know who is downloading them, you cannot have any meaningful way to follow up with them. It's just quantitative data. It's the same thing as seeing cars drive by your church. They see your church and you see them driving by, but there's no way to connect with them. You don't know anything about them. Are they married? Do they have children? Are they struggling in life right now? What is their financial situation? Are they mad at God? Are they afraid of God? You don't know any of this. However, if you have a free parenting resource on your kids ministry page on your website and you acquire their email address, now you have something you can work with. You know they are a parent. That's huge. And that brings me to the fourth step, which is amplify. Once you have acquired their contact info, you need to be following up with them using emails. If they signed up for that free parenting resource on your kids page, now you can amplify your church's mission to families with kids. See, you can highlight the different kids ministry environments at your church. You can also promote upcoming activities that would add value to that contact. Every lead magnet on your website should have a unique set of messages and follow-up emails that are tied to that particular resource or event. Another example would be a grief resource. You can follow up with some passages or devotionals on grief. Perhaps you preached a sermon series 3 years ago on grief. Repurpose that content here. What you're doing is finding new ways to amplify the gospel outside the normal sermon format. When you do this, you are adding value to them before they ever step foot in your church. When you add value, you build trust, and trust leads to increased engagement. The more they engage, the more likely they are to attend a service in person in the future. A big thing you're going to need in achieving all of this is automation. This is the fifth thing you need in the guest growth framework. The reason why automation is so important is because automation trumps determination. Automation is automatic. You don't want this entire system dependent on you or how your day is going or how busy you are. Without automation, you are the one having to follow up personally with everyone. There's some work on the front end, but once you get it all set up, the automation does the rest for you. Now, I will be honest with you, those first 4 steps are completely doable, but they aren't quick. It's a lot of work on the front end, particularly at the attraction step using lead magnets. Churches are great at presenting the gospel, but not as experienced in creating content resources outside the sermon. This is where our platform, Front Door, can really help you grow your church without the huge hassle of becoming a digital marketer. You can focus on pastoring. Front Door has over 65 lead magnets your church can use on different topics and felt needs. They don't have our logo on them anywhere, so you can add them easily to your site. The other part of this is you need to write all of those follow-up emails in the Amplify step. With Front Door, we have already pre-written all of those emails for you. Every lead magnet comes with 3 follow-up emails, so you don't have to worry about it. You can edit them if you like, but the point is we've done most of the hard work for you, so you can focus on pastoring your community. And there are a lot of people in your community. Most of them are not ready to attend a service or watch a sermon. In fact, I would say this is the majority of the anonymous visitors coming to your website every month. However, they are curious, they are hurting, they have felt needs, and you can reach them if you can articulate who your ideal audience is, attract them using lead magnets, acquire their contact info, amplify your church's mission, and automate so you don't have to worry about doing it yourself every single time. It's a lot of work, but frontdoor.church can do most of it for you. Try us out. Start a free trial and see if you can get some more first-time guests before you pay us anything. I'll see you next time.